Welcome to Fingerprint the Marriage. This is Jonathan Penny and Brandy Penny again. Once again, we want to welcome everybody for tuning in. Today we're going to finish up with communication. We're going to be coming from our curriculum, prepared and rich curriculum that we teach our class every second Monday here at Joshua Possessing and Promise International Ministries. So we're going to pick it up at Proverbs chapter 12, verse 18. And it reads, let's wait for the wife to get there. Alright, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. Man, that's a good scripture right there because it says some people make cutting remarks. We've been talking about communication and using our words properly, and as well as our body movements, our body postures. How we present the conversations. As well as we just talked about how life and death lies in the power of the tongue. See, the words that we use and how we choose to express ourselves or present the conversation can cut into our spouses. So instead of building our spouses, we can actually be tearing down our spouses with the conversations that we present. And we're created in the image of God, and to fulfill God's will and for us to become one, we ought to be building a godly household.
Right.
You should be a helper to me, and I should be a helper to you. When we're exchanging words, we should be exchanging something that's positive, that's going to be helping to build each other up. Amen.
Amen. Like we were taught, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a lie.
Right.
Like that is the biggest lie to ever teach your children, because words have power to create things. I can remember words more than I can remember a whooping. Like words stick with me. My daddy told me I am the greatest I am since I was a kid. I remember that more than anything, that he physically done to me. I think my dad gave me like one whooping my whole life. Like I remember the words. The words have power to create. So what are you creating in your relationship? What are you creating? What type of marriage do you want? It's the words that you speak. I like King James Version too of Proverbs 12:18. It said, there is one who speaks like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise promotes health. So what you say can make your relationship unhealthy or healthy.
Right.
You have to be mindful of the words that you speak, especially us talkers. We could be so damnable with our words. Oh my goodness, my words is I'm learning daily, how to think
Right.
about the words that I use, because it could kill somebody, or it could make somebody. You could give life or you could give death in your tongue.
Right. Now we just talk about how our words can be used as weapons. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
the word says we don't fight against power and principalities and so forth, right? But it also speaks of the weapons that we use. Health, hope, love, the power of the Holy Spirit, and our words should be filled with all of these when we speak to each other. That's the weapons we ought to be fighting with. But instead, a lot of marriages, they speak with condemnation, and they deal with a lot of those people who deal with low self-esteem, and they continuously continue to tear them down. So how are we building each other when we're not speaking with the right tools, with the right weapons? You know what I mean? So the enemy is actually winning the marriages because we're not actually building each other up. We're tearing each other down, just like the scripture says, cutting remarks. You know what I mean? We gotta be very careful with how we speak to each other. But then it also says, but the words of the wise bring healing or health. That's when you're speaking life into your relationship. Like we talked about as well, life and death lies in the power of the tongue.
Right.
Like you said, what are you speaking into your relationship? When me and Brandy speak, we focus on each other. You gotta be mindful of the words that you use because you're actually speaking into somebody else's life. You're exchanging a part of you with a part of them. So if you have condemnation within you. You have some corruptible thoughts within yourself. You're exchanging that. My wife could be in a good mode, but me, I can exchange her good perspective of life right now with my doubt,
Right.
and I would leave her in a doubt situation. And now I'm walking off, I'm feeling good, but I just left her in a doubt situation.
Just exchange that. See, another thing is you have to deal with you. Hurt people hurt people.
Right.
So if you're hurt in a relationship, you have to deal with that hurt. Not saying you have to deal with it with your spouse, but you have to deal with that hurt. Wherever that hurt derived from, you have to do a soul search. Because hurt people, point blank, period. So if you don't know how to speak health or you're not speaking positive, then you need to do some soul searching to find out what's really going on with you, what's attached to that. What's
Right.
attached to your hurt that's allowing you not to even speak good things. Because I went through a period where I couldn't speak good stuff. I'm like, well, what's wrong with you, Brady? Why every time I try to say something nice, something on the inside is cringing or it won't come out? I had some issues that I had to deal with. This marriage thing, yes, it's a team effort. Yes, it's togetherness. Yes, we become one. But you have to deal with you. You have to go on a soul searching journey for you because you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself.
Exactly.
I can't be a good helpmate to him if I can't help myself.
This is a continuously learning behavior. Good communication is, man, it's a learned behavior. It's not something that you're gonna grab a hold on to right in the beginning or something we're just brought up into. Man, this is a learned behavior. We was talking about that. What was it last night? We was watching a movie. Man, you become a product of your environment. What I mean? Whatever goes on in your environment, whatever is going on in your society, you become a product of that. And I came up in a environment where we lied, stole, and a lot of negative things. So we came into a marriage with a broken perspective of what a real marriage and what real love ought to be. We didn't know what real love was. We didn't even know what a real marriage was supposed to look like until we actually sought God. Okay, God, how are we supposed to operate within this marriage? You bring us together, we don't even understand. We don't even understand each other. But it's very important to learn how to communicate with each other. And when it comes to communicating, man, you got to pay attention to what you're speaking because you could be speaking damnable things into somebody else's life. You could be hurting them rather than building them. And if I continue to hurt my wife, I'm not just hurting her as well, I'm hurting me.
Right, because if he hurts me, how can we grow together? How can we build together? How do I even want to help him if he constantly hurting me? Like he was saying, like my deep down in my heart, I wanted to be married, but I'm so stubborn and hard, and because of what I saw, my parents being together for 27 years, and I just felt like I couldn't be a good wife. Like I just didn't have that. Like I didn't have a good example. This is in my mind, but in my heart, I really wanted to be married, but I was a stone, cold hard. Like I'm not getting married, and it was all because I felt like I couldn't do it. But you have to have God. I'm sorry, because he's the only one that was able to say, yes, you can. There is hope. You do know how to love. You can love. You can have children. You can be a good mother. You can be a good wife. Whether what my visions or what my thoughts is, I'm so Hollywood. I'm so theatrical. So I want everything to be like a movie,
Right.
But then when you sit and really watch movies, there's good and there's bad. There's ups and downs. It's not always perfect. Even the cartoon was my favorite. I was just thinking about that. We was talking about my favorite cartoon, The Lion King. Like his daddy died. I'm just saying you gotta have the good with the bad. That's how you grow. It ain't always gonna be good. And the Bible say all things work together for the good for them who are called according to his purpose anyway. So it's gonna work for my good. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I have hope that it's gonna work for my good. So therefore, we can work out anything that we go through. It's gonna work for my good because I'm a believer in that. And I believe that whatever we go through, it's gonna work for our good.
Yeah, we definitely practiced that when we moved to Texas. And we moved to Texas, we didn't have nobody out there. It was just us. So we had nobody but us. So we was pretty much put in a position where we had to build each other up. There was moments when I was ready to give up. You had to speak into my life. You was ready to give up, had to speak into your life. We had to keep each other courage.
Right. It's definitely the great exchange. You know, you
Yeah.
reap what you sow. You know, when I sow good words into him, when I'm going down, he bring it on back. Sow good words into me. You know, we're a team. You know what team stand for? Together, everyone achieves more. I love acronyms. Like, I really love acronyms.
Hey, for you preachers out there, man, for a preaching couple to get together, and they get to argue. It's funny when you get to throwing scriptures at each other and so forth. But all right, one way for you to work on building is on healthy communication when it comes to building each other up. Speaking healthy words or speaking healing into one another is practicing a daily dialogue and daily compliments. Daily dialogue is an intention effort to talk about your relationship. Rather than discussing your activities that day, the focus of this dialogue should be on your feelings about each other and your lives together. So we recommend that you set aside 5 minutes per day to discuss the following the following actions, okay? Or the following activities. One, what did you most enjoy about your relationship today? So once again, this is not about your feelings, nothing like that. What did you like most about your relationship today? So set aside 5 minutes and talk about, man. Like today, I like that we got up this morning. We studied. We presented to y'all. We talked about God. You know, we're dressed up. My beautiful wife is up. I like that so far, even though it's early in the morning. But I like that about our relationship today, that we can actually spend time in God with each other, pray together, talk about the Bible, work on our marriage. You know
Seek
what I mean?
ye first the kingdom. That's his favorite, one of his favorite scriptures.
Yeah,
So, you know,
that
he enjoyed that because we're doing it.
is exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one way you can build a healthy communication with each other. You know, man, just take 5 minutes a day. Just it could be a pillow talk. You know, at the end of the night, man, just talk about what did you like about your relationship today. It could be something simple as, man, you called me while I was at work. You know what I mean? I remember Brandy told me that there was a point in time in our relationship in the beginning where I never called her. I didn't pay attention to that. But she said, I never called to check up on her. I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah,
I could be gone all day with my sister, and I'm literally me all day because we owned our own business, so we was always gone together all day, every day for the first 2-3 years. He never called, and I used to be like, he never calls, just to see where you are, see what your day is like. And now, 8 years later, he called all day, every day. Now I'm like, whoa. You know, so you know, if you expect something or you want something, you got to be ready for that too. You know, sometimes you don't know what coming, what you're asking for, so you better be ready.
Yeah, because I'm in the zone. I'm going to call you all day, every day. Mess with you.
I
See. But yeah, just practice that. No, it could be something simple as that. Cause now that I know that me calling, checking up on her every now and then, that motivates her. You know, that's exciting to her. That's part of her love language. So I'm actually building her to love me even more just by calling and check up on her. Just showing that I appreciate her, just showing that I care for her, just for her to know that she's on my mind when she's not around. You know what I mean? So you can practice that. Another one is, what was dissatisfying about your relationship today? It's very important to practice assertively speaking, because you got to be able to express yourself. You know what I mean? It's also, we had a class not too long, and I came to understand that, man, it's a thin line, man, when it comes to assertively speaking, because you could be speaking assertively, but yet um, manipulating at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's a thin line when it comes to assertive speaking. If the other person has dealing with low self esteem. No, when somebody else is dealing with low self esteem, it's pretty much like they'll say yes to anything. Just like, okay, whatever, just to avoid the situation. But when you have each other on your thoughts and you're actually looking to build each other, man, that's all it is. God is actually in the middle of this.
So the thing is, what are your motives?
Exactly.
You know, you have to have positive motives. If your motive is to have your wife do whatever you say do, when you say do it, and how you say do it, you're going to project that in your assertiveness. You know what I mean? You have to check yourself. You have to see where you're coming from. You know, think about what you're thinking about. You know, if you don't understand, you know, if you're manipulating or not, think about what you're thinking about before you speak. You know, and that's definitely a learned behavior too, boy. I got that from Battlefield of the Mind, you know, that Joyce Myers book. I took that class at least 4 times. You know, to think about what you're thinking about. You know,
Right.
that's the task in itself.
Yes.
However, what was dissatisfying about our relationship today? I took too long.
No, we ain't had sex this morning yet.
I knew it. Oh my, we have time.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gonna be seeing the real us. I mean, we don't want y'all to see us out in public. Be like, oh, y'all be acting so holy on, YouTube or Facebook, whatever. No, we're gonna be us. Yeah, I'll say that'll be my dissatisfying moment so far.
I got you tonight.
Yeah.
I know.
The day ain't over yet.
That's why I was like, what's dissatisfying? I knew you was gonna say that.
The world is
I know it.
All right, so.
Well, how can you be helpful to each other today? How can we be? How can I be helpful? Yes.
Oh, now, see, now I will be calling you. I'll be planting my seeds throughout the day, preparing you so when you come home.
Yeah. And see what happens when you do these daily compliments in your daily dialogue, it creates intimacy. You know, you don't have to guess. You don't have to work. You know, and most dudes be like, I don't know. I don't get it. There's no guessing when we talk about it. You know what I mean? Like he said, the satisfying things, we didn't have sex this morning. All right? So I know that, right? So he told me point blank, and it's early in the morning. So all day long, what is he going to do? What is he going to work on? Intimacy. So all day long, we could be in foreplay. All day long, he could be talking to me, calling me, giggling. You know, we'd be at work. You know, whatever it takes. Because I already know what's on his mind. So he's going to prepare me so I can help him later on tonight. You see what I'm saying? And it can be that easy. Yes, it can. Set yourself to the side. Set your pride to the side. Especially girls or women, whatever. Want to be like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? But, you know, we need sex just as much as they do.
Yeah, but then again, the men do too. Because some men, they think it's too... Some men think it's not cool to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? To prepare your spouse for sex later on. I mean, some men, yeah, we'll whisper in your ear and things like that. But like when you're at work, man, it's cool to send texts or give a call or send some flowers or pop up at the job and so forth.
Send lunch.
Yeah, you ain't always got to be player, you know, whispering in their ear and so forth right there. Ain't always got to be physical.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could be something from a distance. So when my wife is not around me, even she could be at work. I could be taking my daughter to the hospital. I could still be sending a text to let her know, you know. No, we still got to get that taken care of, right? No, just telling her I love her and so forth and things like that. Just getting the atmosphere prepared before we even meet up in the atmosphere.
See, the truth is you always have to prepare for whatever you want in your life. Exactly. There has to be a preparation. All that we doing, all this studying, learning, God, we're preparing. What are we preparing for? To go to heaven. Everything is a preparation. You want a good marriage, you got to prepare for it. You want great sex, you got to prepare for that too. You know, everything, there's a preparation. You have to be willing to do the work. And that's what a lot of people are not willing to do the work. There's work in anything that you do. And what you put work in is something you treasure. It's something you hold close to your heart. Easy things, easy come, easy go. But when you work hard for something, you're going to keep it. Because you're going to work hard to keep it. You're going to work hard to get it. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I was just doing some studying last night. It was about Paul. Even Paul, when it came to ministry, he had to take 12 years away. You know what I mean? Because he had to prepare for what God has prepared for him with that ministry. But the thing is, even no matter what it is, like you said, it could be ministry, it could be marriage, it could be a date, whatever it is, a new job, new business. You have to prepare yourself for it because you have to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually ready to move into this thing. But when it came to marriage, we had to separate for a year, a little over a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had to prepare ourselves to walk into this marriage. You know what I mean? Because I came from a broken home. No, my father was never around. My mother said she's married, but I don't even remember the guy. You know what I mean? My wife, she comes from a married household. No, but they had their issues as well.
And a divorce. I had to deal with a divorce, and I was 19 years old. That's still hurtful. I don't care how old you are. When your parents get a divorce, it's tragic. Whether whether you felt like it was deserved or whether you felt like it wasn't deserved, whether you felt like they should, you get something behind that, and you have to deal with that. You know what I mean? Whether you get like for me, I felt like, well, I can't be married because if my mama couldn't do it, I couldn't do it. Or I'm not good enough to do it, or I don't think. I mean, whatever, you get something from that divorce. And that's why, I also taught a class for divorce care for kids, because I know it's really hurtful for children, whether it was an abuse or whatever, you always want your parents together. And I don't care how old you are, that's just something you want. You always want your parents together, whether it's unhealthy or healthy. Especially as a child, you don't know what's healthy and what's not unhealthy. All you know is my mom and daddy got a divorce. And I was 19. And even though I felt like, their relationship was, I really didn't know. I really didn't have a feeling. I just know it was mom and daddy, and that's all I did know. So for it to,
Just familiar.
and yeah, that's what my familiarity was, right? So for it to end, I'm like, oh, okay. But on the inside, I'm like, what is this?
Right.
How am I deal with this? Do I go over their house? Do I hurt my mama feelings by going with my daddy? Do I hurt my daddy feelings by going with my mama? You know what I mean? Is my family all separated? Everybody used to come to our house. All the families came to our. Now ain't nobody coming nowhere. Divorce is, I don't care what you say, it hurts. And you have to learn to deal with it and so yeah.
Right.
And you have to learn to so in my marriage, I learned, let's compromise, let's talk. I have to be willing to sometimes do things I don't want to do for the marriage. You know what I mean? And compromising. I'm going to say it, compromising.
That's a key word in marriage, compromising.
Compromising.
It's even for husbands. We gotta be submissive to our wives as well. But when you're talking, it's even important for us to realize that we don't know exactly what's going on within the other person. So before we move in any situation, within a conversation, no matter if it's sex, finances, about the children, or whatever it is, we have to understand that we're dealing with hurt that's in somebody else that we don't understand how strong or how deep that hurt
is. Right.
So we have to be positioned to build that person up, speak health into that person, speak life into that person, because we got to build each other up. There's things I dealt with that I really can't handle on my own. I need Brandy to help me deal with that. And it's the same with Brandy. There's some things Brandy can't deal with on her own, but she needs me to help her deal with that. And that's what the daily compliments and the daily dialogue comes into play. Just keep in touch with each other and let each other know, man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? This is what I like about our relationship. You know what I mean? So that you both know it's on the same page. Or this is what you like, or this is what she like. Okay, let me continue doing that. This is what I don't like. No, okay, so now I understand what you don't like. You don't like when I rub you on your back. Some ladies don't like that because, they're like, it tickles. You know what I mean? But some ladies do.
Don't talk about my ticklish. I don't like being tickled. I do not like being tickled.
And I like to tickle. I like to play.
I don't like it.
I used to do it to her all the time, but then, now I understand. She don't like being tickled. I might mess with her just to annoy her every now and then. But I understand she don't like being tickled.
But understand why I don't like being tickled. So we understand, it have bladder situations. And I don't know who wants bladder situations. So therefore, I don't like being tickled.
Who heard of that? I never heard of that. But okay, I didn't know that. Now I know. So I understand now. But at first I thought she was lying.
He wanted me to pee on myself. Then that'll make him believe, oh, really?
Really, who really has that? But okay, but then when she told me that, I started paying attention. It actually runs in the family. So I started testing other people. Okay, let me try this one. Oh, you just like her. Oh, okay, it runs in the family. So but you would never know if you don't have that
That
communication with
conversation,
each other.
right?
You know what I mean? So.
And sorry, that makes me vulnerable. So with me, I have to be willing to be vulnerable. I have to tell them I have a bladder situation, and that's why I don't want you tickling me. I don't want to pee on myself. I don't like peeing on myself. Who likes that? But who wants to tell somebody that? Like, well, you tickle me, I pee on myself. Well, I did because I don't want him tickling me. I don't want to pee on myself. I don't have to lie about that. You know what I mean? I kept it real. I kept it 100. It is what it is. Right. Don't tickle me. I don't like it.
Alright, so practice that. Take 5 to 10 minutes a day to practice daily dialogue and daily compliments. Alright, so daily compliments help you focus on the positive things you like about each other. Every day, give your partner at least one genuine compliment, and these can be general. You are fun to be with, or specific. I appreciate that you were on time for the concert.
Oh, boy. Talk about that time.
I'm a very on time person. I don't like rushing. I don't like being late. I don't like, when I feel like I'm being rushed, man, I can't focus.
You shut down?
I can't focus. My wife, on the other hand, she's the last minute person. If we got to be somewhere at 8:30, she's walking out the door about 8:20. Maybe 8:25.
Because I'm very time conscious. Like if it take me 5 minutes to get somewhere, I count my minutes, I count my time because I like to sleep or because I'm lazy. Okay, so I time everything. Yes, I'm lazy sometimes. So if I know I have to be at work at 9, and I know if I leave at 8:45, I get there 9 on the dot. I don't care how much I got to rush to get there. I'm gonna do it. He can't do that. And, he like the person, if you on time, you late. If you 5 minutes early, you on time. I'm not. Okay? If I got to be there at 9:00, I'm there at 9:00, not 8:55.
You're not prepared for whatever it is you're going for.
And he's right. I'm not knocking that. But the truth is, that's me. It is what it is.
Healthy communication helped us learn each other. See how different we are? Can y'all imagine how complicated this was in the beginning of our relationship?
Yeah.
And we used to argue all the time. But, like I said, healthy communication helped us grow together. So now it's crazy how even though we're so different, when people see Brandy, they see me. When they see me, they see Brandy. Because it's the exchanging that we did for the last several years, in our communication. I picked up a part of her life, and she picked up a part of my life. So she's actually walking around with a part of me. She has knowledge and understanding of me, just as I have knowledge and understanding of her. So even though we're very different, we consider each other ways. Okay, so I understand Brandy is, she can be, she's not on time as me. She thinks her time, her perspective on time is different from mine. So I take that into consideration. I'm like, okay, she ain't be here that early. So I'm going to give her a little bit of time. I'll probably call up on her, check on her. You going yet? Hey, we got to be here. Things like that. So we know how to deal with each other based on our communication that we've been having with each other.
Which, is funny because, like, my family always say Brandon was the on time one. And then I'm in my relationship and he say I'm the late one. I'm like, what? That transition is like, what? Like, I'm always on time. But it's his perspective of time. So I have to compromise sometimes and be early for some things. And he's like, you're not early, you're on time. But my perspective is this early. 5 minutes is early. I be wanting to be right on time. I don't want to be early. Sometimes. But for his early, because his early sometimes is like 45 minutes to an hour. My early.
If I like it.
Yeah, especially when we go to church events. Now, church events, I understand we want to be super early because I have to be in the front row, and he learned that about me. I have to be in the front row, not because I have to be seen or because I'm loud or whatever people may think. It's because I have a focus problem. So I have to sit in the front so I can focus. If I sit in the back of anything, it's over. I'm looking at hairdos. I'm looking at purses. I'm looking at what people have on. I cannot focus. I'm just distracted. I'm easily distracted. And because I know that about myself, so I know certain events I do have to be early because I have to be in the front or otherwise it's over for me. I ain't gonna focus on nothing that's being said. I zoom out, I zone out.
And they just want to sit in the back.
And he wanted to sit in the back, right? Because he don't want to be seen. He's calm. He's collective. I mean, he has his own reasons of why. But my reasons, so I have to explain that to him. I have to be in the front because I have a focus problem. Nothing else. You can say what you want to. I know me.
Now you see, I don't care who you are. You may think your marriage is very complicated. You don't understand each other. You know, you probably think you married the wrong spouse. That's a lie. As you can see, we are two very different people. But no, we grew and we learned how to love each other. We learned how to understand each other. But this is the purpose of us, man, pushing this communication, because you never get to that point, man, if you don't learn how to communicate with each other. If you cannot communicate with each other, you never learn how to grow with each other. You never learn how to love each other. You never learn why did God lead you to be with each other. I didn't know why. In the beginning, we was trying to figure out why are we with each other. No, we was two totally different people. But healthy communication will help you better understand that. So no matter how difficult you think your marriage is, communication is the key. Your marriage is only as strong as your communication.
And a lot of times, I know men think women are vulnerable, but we really know how to hold and keep things to ourselves. And I think that's a lot of problem with communication is people don't want to be vulnerable. You know, like, I don't want to tell you my faults. I don't want to tell you my flaws. You know what I mean? But for me, like, you have to. Like, how else can he know what not to do and what he should do if I'm not telling you? You know, that, which is vulnerability is, you know, I pee on myself if you tickle me. Or, I don't know how to focus if we all the way in the back. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't assume that he's gonna know that. You know, but if I don't tell him, he's not gonna know that. But by me telling him, that makes me vulnerable. You know, to tell you my deepest, you know, that's the secret, or that's just something about me that I didn't want to expose, per se. But, you know, for me, I mean, I'm an open book. I talk about everything, clearly. But I can understand women not wanting to, you know what I'm saying, tell you that, you know, what woman want to say, hey, I got a bladder situation, or, you know, like, I can't focus in the back. Or even if she know that about herself. You know, you have a confident woman here. I know me, and I'm okay with me. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's another thing, you have to build your confidence so you're able to communicate and be able to be vulnerable with your husband. You said to death do us part. I'm giving, now I might not give it all to you right away. You know, it might take some time, you know.
Right.
But we have forever. Because that's what we talked about. I'm with you forever. I told him, you mess with me, you stuck with me. But that was before I was saved, so y'all know I ain't say mess. But, you know, and it is it. And it is so. And so, therefore, because I made that commitment, because I made that vow, because I spoke that out of my mouth when we got married, till death do us part, then I'm going to be vulnerable. Now, like I said, it might take some years, but hey, we got forever, so we're going to work on it. As long as it's progress, slow progress is progress. Right. You know what I mean? You don't have to give it all to them at once. And it's really hard for somebody.
Scare them away.
Right. And not only that, it's hard for somebody to digest everything overnight. You have to grow together.
Right.
You know? So communication is definitely the key. It is the key.
Yeah, that's right. You are beautiful.
Aw, thank you. You like my Marilyn Monroe.
Whatever. Alright, communication skills to increase intimacy. Alright, 1. Give full attention to your partner when talking. Turn off the phone, shut off the television, and make eye contact. Once again, like we was talking about, communication comes in various ways. It's just not your choice of words, but it's also, like here. Man, how much attention are you giving? Eye contact, your body movements, how you sit, your posture. All of these plays has a huge play when it comes to communication. So, give full attention to your partner. Let them know that you appreciate the situation that you're talking about. That it's just as important to you as it is to them. You know what I mean? 2, focus on the good qualities in each other and often praise each other. Like I just said, you are so beautiful. You know, you got to praise each other. My wife, she
needs a lot of praising.
That, yeah.
I need a lot of praising. And guess what?
I can care less.
And my children are just the same. That is so amazing. But anyway.
Well, not all of them. You know, Brayvon, he needs it.
So does John Jr.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But you gotta pay attention. You gotta learn them.
Brazen.
Brazion, he's so
He
mean.
you.
Yeah, he like whatever.
He
I'm
whatever.
still gonna be me.
Right.
You know?
He's so self motivated, and that's one thing I found out about myself. I see I'm not self motivated. You know, I'm things motivated. I'm smell motivated. I'm outwardly motivated, and I think that's why I probably need so much praise. And I think that's probably why the kids need so much praise. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy gave me praise my whole life, and maybe I've got accustomed to that too. You know, but I know it, and I'm okay with it. You know, it is what it is. Some people got that, like my husband. Got that self-motivated, come from the inside. He just pop up like, I'm gonna do it. No, I don't have that.
You have to be built up.
I have to be built up. I do.
Right. The only thing I say most men do need is, you know, to be praised and being a good man. You know what I mean?
Be a good man.
It's important for wives to let your husband know that, man, that you appreciate your husband. You know, if the man never feels appreciated or anything like that, then it'll make it feel as if he's in the wrong household.
And for women, you have to understand we need love. They need respect. That's their love. You know, when I respect him, that builds him. When I respect his authority, that builds him. And we have to understand that our love is totally different. Men and women are different. We need love. They need respect. That is love for them. When you respect them, and even when they're wrong, when they're right, when they're up, when they're down, you have to learn to respect that. And that is the compromise that us women have to do, especially strong women. It don't matter. You have to learn to respect your husband when he's wrong, when he's right, when he's down, when he's up. You have to learn to respect. And that comes with God. Like, you have to listen. Like, I have to be like, listening to what's going on here. You know, how can I uplift him in this situation? He wrong, though. Like, he totally wrong. But what do I do? Because guess what? I'm him and he's me. We're one. Right. You know, so I want to respect his authority. I want to respect him. Find ways to respect him. And that is what's going to build him.
All right. 3, be assertive. Share your thoughts, feelings, and needs. A good way to be assertive without being critical is to use I rather than you statements. For an example, I worry when you don't let me know you'll be late rather than you are always late.
Boy.
I used to do that all the time.
Vice versa too, because I mean that's how we was raised, you know. Shoot.
Right.
We were very condescending, I guess I want to say. Critical. My family is critical.
That's the word I was looking for.
That's
earlier.
the word. Yeah, critical. We're very critical. I'm critical on myself too. So that is definitely learned behavior, and it took a lot for me to learn to use I statements. Because what I statements ultimately do is still make you vulnerable. You know, it still makes you vulnerable rather than not dealing, you know, with you. You just want to attack or, you know, like you said, be critical. Just critical. I used to be like, I'm a great critical thinker. Boy, I'm saying you tell yourself you're doing the right thing when you're all the way wrong. You're all the way wrong. You think being critical is okay, and it's not. It's harmful. It hurts to be critical.
That's why this is a learned behavior, because we operate in the wrong way so long that we think it's the right way.
Yeah.
But with the right way, we have to be re-educated. We learn how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, especially we never grew up around it. So yes, and we have to be being assertive is. Man, it's a thin line instead of with being assertive and being critical. You know what I mean? You can tear somebody down when you're being critical, but assertively speaking is when you're actually helping obviously your customer. I'm thinking of work right now.
That's what I was laughing when you said recommend.
When you assertively speaking is when you express how you feel and you're actually building your partner, when you're actually operating as one. You know what I mean? Amen. Now, avoid criticism. Number 4, criticism is one of the marriage killers. You don't want to criticize each other. 5, if you must criticize, balance it with at least one positive comment. It's very hard not to criticize in some circumstances. But if you're in a position where you are criticizing, you gotta at least have a positive comment. You know what I mean? Gotta have a balance.
So when I was in childcare and I was teaching, so one thing I was taught was you have to make a sandwich. Okay, a sandwich is something positive. That's the bread, and then the meat is your criticism or something negative, and then you got to put another piece of bread on it. You know what I mean? So that's how you could. That's how I mentally, do it. So I'll be like, if I have something negative to say, I make sure I at least have two positive things to say behind my negative because you want it to sit well, and you know what I mean. You want somebody to be able to eat a good sandwich.
Right.
So number 5 is if you, I'm sorry, an example, let's give an example, is I appreciate how you take the trash out each week. In the future, can you remember to also wheel the trash can back from the end of the driveway? And that's just a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that was one of our situations here. We had left Winter, Texas, and then we came back to Milwaukee, right? Man, why would they take the trash? The trash is right there by the alley. It's on the hill. They wouldn't take the garbage can. Because it's right there on the hill. So Brent, my wife, was like, well, okay, when y'all take out the trash, can y'all just pull it? She said, just take the garbage can out there. And I used to get upset. Oh my God, I didn't understand the process. The garbage can is right there. You can reach, grab the garbage can, take it, and dump it in the truck. They wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's an example right there. But it is what it is. I finally got it. Just leave the garbage can. Alright, number 6. Listen to understand, not to judge. So when you're communicating with each other, once somebody speaks assertively, listen to the person. Don't judge them on their feelings and all because that person is vulnerable at the time. If you judge them at that moment, man, you just killed them. You just tore them down. They may not speak to you for a while now because they're just shut down. They made themselves vulnerable and they're expressing themselves to you how they feel. Man, listen and not judge. Man, consider their feelings. 7.
I'm sorry. So just a little bit about not judging. Especially when you're, like for me, I felt like I wasn't a judgmental person. But I did some soul searching. I'm very judgmental internally. So you can internalize so many things and you're not realizing what you're doing. You know what I mean? And judging is one of them. Like I said, I'm very liberal. I hang out with all type of people, all ethnicities. I hung out with Gothic people, Asian people. So I really thought I was not a judgmental person, but when you're not listening, when every time somebody's talking to you, you're thinking about, what they have on, where they come from, or who they think they are, or whatever your thought. That's why I say you have to think about what you're thinking about. You know what I mean? If you're talking to me, or if I'm thinking about how like how dare you say that to me, or whatever you're thinking about. See if you're being judgmental internally. So a man thinketh, so is he. When you're a believer, so what you're thinking about, that's who you are. So I worked on that a while, and I'm still working on that. About not being judgmental, especially when you have a comment. And a great way of deciphering that is to become a great listener. Right. Keep listening and think about what you're thinking about.
I don't feel bad. She get on me all the time about my words. The way especially with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on that. I don't say that as much as I used to.
Still working on it.
Alright. 7. Use active listening. Summarize your partner's comments before sharing your own reactions or feelings. So after your partner assertively speaks, restate what they said. Make sure that you heard them correctly. Let them know that that you've been heard and that they've been heard and understood. So when me and Brandon communicate with each other, especially since we are 2 different people, we came from 2 different lifestyles, we have to actually take time to listen to each other, understand what each other is saying, and then rehearse what they said. Okay, so this is what you're saying, and this is how you feel. Because if we don't do that, you never really understand what is being said. You hear them, but you ain't really hear them.
And also what comes with this, especially in the beginning, is at first, like when we first started doing it, Right, we started practicing. So I got offended. And I'm like, are you being sarcastic? I'm just being honest like this, and I'm just gonna be so upfront about assertive listening. Like, it is a process. So in the beginning, I was like, "Are you mocking me? Are you imitating? I mean, what is this?" He was like, "No, I'm just repeating what I said. Didn't we learn it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." So you have to understand. You know what I mean? Like, this is a process, okay? And it ain't just gonna slap like this. And it's a learned process. So like I said in the beginning, when he started doing it, I got offended. Cause I'm like, is you testing me? You know, like and he thinking like, am I crazy? Because we just learned that I'm supposed to repeat what you say. You know, like we just was in this class, we just was learning to be assertive and to be an active listener. And I got offended instantly when he really started doing it by himself, but us doing it in class. I'm like, are you mimicking me? You understand what I'm saying? So with change and with you guys learning, just keep going. You know what I mean? Don't stop, just keep going. So after, I realized, okay, he really just listening to me, which took a minute. And I'm like, oh, that is awesome. But then the first time he started doing it, I was like, I'm just saying, you know how they say women crazy or whatever. I'm just saying, like, because when you learn something, well, when you change, I think that's it. The transition. You know what I mean? There's a transition when you do decide to change. When you do decide to keep implementing what you learn, there's a transition stage. So that's what I mean. During your transition, just keep moving forward. It's gonna work for your good, and it's okay if you be a little crazy or a little cuckoo patty about the situation. It's okay as long as you keep moving forward.
Right.
Don't go back. I'm not going back. I'm moving ahead.
And a lot of couples, they start the transformation, but right in the middle, like you said, right in the middle of the transformation, they fall off.
Yeah.
Because it's uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar. They don't know what to do. They don't know what outcome is gonna come, how it's gonna be, and they give up and go back to their old ways.
To your old ways.
And you see it all the time in marriages where you see a marriage, man, they're on fire. They loving each other. They just seem like a perfect couple. Give it 2 months. The next you know, it's just all hell broke loose because they couldn't complete the transformation.
Ooh, like Transformers. Like I love Transformers. Mm-hmm. When Optimus Prime started transforming, he looked a mess. You don't know what's finna come out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Doing the process of the transformation, like you can't see it. But guess what? By the time he turned into Optimus Prime, whoop whoop.
Yeah, in the middle, you see the work being done, but you never see the beauty of it.
Right. Not doing the transformation.
Right. See, when God is working on the marriage, it looked ugly. It looked messed up. It looked confusing. But when God's done working on the transformation, then you see the power of God. You see God's hands on the relationship. But you got to make it through the transformation. That's why communication is a learned behavior.
It is.
And like you said before, we cannot get stuck in the middle of that transformation and not make it to the other side. Because on the other side is where God's glory is going to be. That's where we're going to actually see God's power, where we can actually operate in that dominion and subdue all that God has for us once we complete that transformation.
Right. Just keep moving forward. I encourage you. Ladies, keep moving forward. Even if you think you're going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, keep moving forward. Because I used to really be like, okay, he's playing games now. And all he was doing was repeat me. That's the very thing that we were taught to do. He's doing it. And sometimes that freaks us out when you've been saying, do this for years, and they don't do it. And then all of a sudden they do it. Now you go cuckoo. You be like, okay, is you playing with me? It'd be like hard to believe in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I understand that, but guess what? You just keep moving forward. And you keep observing and you keep watching. And if he keep doing it, then it becomes who you guys are. Now you learn to communicate. Now we got communication. So we went from not being able to communicate, now we're excellent communicators. But how about that in between, that dash, that series that we had to go through, that doubt, that disbelief, that not believing that all things are possible to him, that can't believe it. Hey,
building that trust.
It's that dash, boy.
Right.
Keep moving forward, though.
Amen. All right, so we're going to, number 8, avoid blaming each other and work together for a solution. You know what I mean? No pointing the fingers. That's why you gotta be accountable for what you say and your own actions. I can't blame Brandy for what I've done. I can't blame Brandy for anything. I can't blame Brandy for any circumstances, situation that's going on because this is one. We're operating as a team. You know, there's no her, there's no me. We're one. So I can't blame her. She can't blame me. But we have to communicate with each other and come up with a solution for whatever that circumstance is. No matter if it's sex, finances, children, whatever it is, we're both in fault because we're working together as a team. So we fall in wherever you are falling at, it's not his or her fault, man. It's both of your fault, and y'all have to come to a mutual understanding and mutual agreement on how to succeed in that circumstance.
See, the blame game will get you nowhere. When you have the blame game mentality, that's what I call it, the blame game.
Right.
You know, it's like you always want to blame somebody for your faults. You want to blame them for how you fail or what. The blame game is not going to make you progress.
Right.
So deal with your situation, deal with your issues, you know, and sometimes it's what I want to say, not a hurt mentality, but you have been hurt. But when you a blame game, you know, it's a victim mentality. You know, you play the victim when you blame all the time. You become this victim, you know, and you know, God died for that. Jesus died for that. So, and I know sometimes it's not as easily said as done as to get over it, but you have to. If you want to move forward, you have to deal with your hurt. You have to deal with what happened to you as a child, what happened to you as a teenager. You have to deal with it because what happened to your relationship, I'm going to blame him for everything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a victim. Because I was hurt, because I was molested, because I was raped, whatever I went through as a child, it progresses in your relationship if you don't deal with it. Right. So, you know, especially blaming him, blame. You know, especially like with my finances. You know, like, and you know, I'm just transparent. So I was very good in my finances. You know, I ran my company's finances well. I started having children, and I didn't know how to. I lost self-control when it came to my kids. I lost how to budget accordingly because I really didn't know how much Pampers cost. I didn't know. Whatever. It's a whole new life for me with children. And so I blamed him. Yeah, the transformation. So I blamed him like, well, it's because of you because we had the kids. You had the kids. Like, how dare I blame him for my financial situation? Because I'm just saying mentally. This is mentally. I ain't telling until years later I blamed him. You know, but I chose to have that baby. I chose to live a life with him. Why would I blame him for me not being financially astute or financially aware or not being able to budget or whatever my financial circumstances was? I blamed my husband for that. And I was like, you know, once I evaluated myself, like, I'm blaming him for that? For my choices? How dare I do that?
Right.
But I'm just saying, how dare I do that? Like, for real, Brandy. And I got over it, and now I'm starting to move forward. Like, hey, I decided to be with you as well. Like, I decided to have my kid.
Right. You know, that's what the enemy wants us to do. The enemy wants us to blame each other. And we even seen that in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, that woman you gave me, God.
Exactly. He blamed her. But then she blamed him. Come to find out, it was neither one of their fault. It came down, it was the serpent's fault. And God was like, really? So, but everybody got dealt with because everybody had their own faults. Everybody participated, but when it's a marriage, you know, there's no, it's your fault and my fault. Man, we did this together.
We're a team.
But why did we do this? Because the enemy found his way into your marriage. And he caused that to happen. So to be honest, it's the enemy's fault. But we allowed him in.
Right.
So whenever there's a lack of communication, that's what the enemy work off of. Right. A lack of communication. So as long as we're working on communicating with each other and exchanging a part of our lives with each other, the enemy can't get in.
Right, because it said give him no inch. You can't give the enemy an inch. No footstool. You cannot give him not a piece of a little small opening. He in there like swimwear.
Exactly. He gonna begin to build that stone wall in your marriage, and that's what you don't want. Now you continue to use these steps. All right. And if you still can't come to a mutual understanding within these steps, man, seek counseling. If you are not able to resolve issues, seek counseling before they become more serious. Me and Brandon, we are marriage mentors, but we even tell couples that even if you're within your mentoring process, if you still can't come to an agreement or you still can't rebuild that fire within your relationship, then you need more help. You can't be so prideful that you can't seek professional counseling. You know what I mean? There was a time in my life when I actually had to go seek some professional counseling. I was going through some mental battles. I didn't know what was going on, so I went to go see a life coach. I was like, man, I'm going through some stuff in my head. But come to find out, there was just a lot of stuff in me that I didn't know how to get out. There's God had so much in me that needed to be exposed or expressed that I didn't know how to get out, and I didn't know that. But you know what I'm saying. So you can't be so prideful that you feel that you don't need no type of professional help. Everybody needs help.
We do. That's why God made woman is to help man. Everybody needs help, and it's okay.
And I'll be honest, man, sometimes we need some type of professional help to deal with our wives because we don't understand them. There's some things about my wife that I just didn't understand. I had to go to my bishop just to make sure that I was, making sure that I'm on the right track here. But that's one thing, especially men. Don't feel so prideful. If your wife asks, let's go to a mentor class. Let's go to a marriage workshop. That's why we have marriage workshops every second Monday at Joshua Possessing the Crowns International Ministries, where we can work on marriages and build strong marriages for our communities. At least that we open up the doors to allow couples to learn each other and to allow couples to better their marriage because we've been through it. So we share what we have.
Amen. All right. We love you guys.
We were way beyond our time.
Yes, and it was getting good, and that's okay. Sometimes it get good. So, and we thought this was supposed to be a short lesson. Communication, though, baby, I tell you, it's work. And as long as you're willing to work at your marriage, you can have whatever you say. You can have the best marriage possible, as long as you work at it. Amen. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in.